It's a beautiful day for some Reddit stories. I hope you guys are having a good day today. Today's episode is going to be a whole bunch of fun and I hope you're excited. I've got Nettie behind me and we're ready to go. Am I overreacting for refusing to eat from dishes that have been in the dishwasher? I live with my parents and recently we moved houses. We now have a dishwasher. We also own 2 cats who both use their litter box. To scoop the poo out, we have a kind of shuffle. Obviously that shuffle gets dirty and we need to clean it. Oh, I can see where this is going. Normally we would clean it separate from the dishes since we had to wash everything ourselves anyway. Yeah, and also hopefully in the laundry sink, not the kitchen sink. However, my parents have now decided to throw it in the dishwasher along with the dishes that are already in there. Oh, no. I confronted my mum about this and I argued that, for example, we wouldn't put a dirty toilet brush in there. She agreed, but a couple of days later I found it in the dishwasher again. My dad was home at the time, so I argued the same thing, but he says the dishwasher is made to clean and that it doesn't matter. Am I right? Is it gross? Or is a dishwasher strong enough to clean those bacteria? No, you're not overreacting. Oh God. Dishwashers aren't that good. There are plenty of situations where you need to clean stuff after it even comes out of a dishwasher because it didn't do good enough of a job. Maybe that's like a crappy dishwasher. This one is a literal crappy dishwasher because it has cat crap in it. No, you're not overreacting, OP. That's so gross. Update, thank you for all your comments. I confronted both of my parents again by showing them your comments, and they now realize that it's not okay. The pooper scooper will no longer be in the dishwasher. Congratulations, OP. I'm so happy for you. That's so funny, but so gross at the same time. Like, yeah, sure, the dishwasher does a good job, but that doesn't mean it has to be next to our mugs and our cups and our forks and knives and stuff. If it's going near my mouth, and this is coming from a very proud cat dad, what Nez does in her litter box is absolutely her business, not mine, and I don't want that anywhere near what I'm gonna eat food on. Like, not only is that so gross, but it's also dangerous, isn't it? Can't you get like really sick from cat poo? And also, I don't know how a dishwasher works, but like, is the water going back around? That is so unbelievably nasty. I don't think it should be cleaned in the kitchen sink either. Wash it in the laundry sink, and if you don't have another sink, wash it outside with a hose or something. Don't even have it in the kitchen. No, you're not overreacting, OP. This comment says, no, you can't put poo in the dishwasher. That water gets recycled. And then they said it pipes in and then runs through it over and over and then rinses off with more fresh water. So that poo would be mixed with soap and food particles from all the other dishes and then re-sprayed over everything. And then fresh water and rinse aid sprayed over. Is that true? Oh, that makes it so much worse. So if that is how a dishwasher works, it's spreading it everywhere. And it's probably not hot enough either to like kill the bacteria. Yeah, okay, this one keeps getting even more gross. Yeah, there are so many people in the comments talking about like toxoplasmosis. It's an infection with a parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. People often get the infection from eating undercooked meat. You can also get it from contact with cat feces. The parasite can pass to a baby during pregnancy. Yeah, so there you go. Oh my God, yum, this dinner is so delicious. Oh no, I've got a parasite. Yeah, once again, you're definitely not overreacting. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Starting the episode on a queasy note. I have a hard time with the smells that come out of these guys. And yeah, you don't want that anywhere near stuff that you eat from. Post number 2 that we're going to read is a Today I Messed Up story. Today I messed up by accidentally booking myself on a 17-hour train ride because it was cheaper. So this happened last week and I still feel like an idiot. I was planning a quick trip to visit my friend in a city about 4 hours away by train, and I thought it'd be fun to try out the scenic route. Is it route or route? I've never known which one to say. I also don't know if it's adult or adult, and I've probably said both in the episodes. Okay, Google says that it's route. I thought it'd be fun to try out the scenic route. You know, maybe pass through some mountains, some cute little towns, or maybe even spot a moose. I've been working from home and I thought the change of scenery could be refreshing. So I'm on the website comparing train tickets and I see an option that was way cheaper than the rest. Excited, I book it without looking at the itinerary. It had the correct destination. Well, the day comes, the train departs, and within the first hour, I'm already starting to get suspicious. We pass through this super random industrial area and then we loop back around to the starting station and then we head out again in a totally different direction. The whole vibe is off, but at this point, I'm still convinced it's part of the scenic route. So I just sit back and start munching on my snacks. 3 hours later, I'm definitely not where I should be. We stopped at every single train station known to man, and a few that seem like they haven't even seen a passenger since 1974, I finally asked the train conductor, hey, this train goes to my destination, right? He just laughs and then says, eventually. This was not a scenic train. This was the we're gonna take you to every village and backwoods town train. Turns out I'd accidentally booked myself onto a commuter train that essentially stops everywhere and is mainly for locals hopping from one rural spot to another. Google Maps showed that I was practically zigzagging across the region like a demented Pac-Man. At hour 7, I ran out of snacks. At hour 10, I ran out of patience. By hour 13, I questioned every choice that I'd ever made. There was no Wi-Fi, so I couldn't even stream anything. I basically had to entertain myself by counting the cows that we passed. When I finally arrived at my friend's place, I was a shell of a human. I looked like I'd just come back from some sort of post-apocalyptic survival training. My friend had already gone to bed. Yeah, like the top comment says, I hope you didn't book it to return as well. The comment below that says, but it's such a good deal. The comment below that, it only cost your soul. Yeah, I feel so sorry for you, OP, but also not at the same time, because you should have looked at this. Like, I'm sure you will next time, but you really should have checked where it was going to stop. But hey, you've got a funny story to tell. This comment says, I kinda don't believe you. How do you not look at the arrival time as you're booking? The comment below that says, OP mentioned they thought it was such a good deal that they happily booked it without seeing the rest of the details. Yeah, obviously, that's completely on you, OP. But hey, it was an adventure and a funny story to tell. Okay, the next one is an Am I the A-hole post. Am I the A-hole for leaving my sister's kid with a family friend after she was hours late picking him up? I, 36 male, agreed to babysit my sister's son, 8 male, last Friday night so that she could go to a friend's event. She said that she'd be back early Saturday morning and I was happy to help. I even planned some activities for us before she came by. Since I don't often get to spend time with my nephew, Saturday morning rolled around and by 9 a.m. she hadn't shown up. I texted her and she replied that she was on her way, so I didn't worry. We had breakfast and hung out and waited around until about 11 a.m. I texted her again mentioning that I had plans at 3 p.m. and she replied with, I'll be there soon. By 1 p.m. I started getting anxious because I still hadn't heard anything more. I tried calling but she didn't answer. I left a voicemail reminding her that I had plans later in the afternoon and I needed her to let me know her estimated time of arrival. By 2:30 I was really stressing. I'd been planning to leave by then to get to my friend's party, but she still hadn't shown up or even answered her phone. Finally, around 3:30, after calling and texting without any response, I reached out to a family friend who lives in my building. She's known my family for years and my nephew and sister know her well, so I knew that he'd be comfortable and safe. The family friend was happy to help, so I explained the situation and I left my nephew with her, giving her my sister's contact information in case anything came up. When my sister finally picked her son up at 5 p.m, she was furious. She accused me of abandoning him. OP's not the one who abandoned him, saying that I had one job and I should have waited. I explained that she'd promised to be back in the morning and then ignored my texts and calls. I also told her I left him with somebody that we all trusted. She said that I should have sacrificed my plans, even if it meant waiting all day since family comes first. The entitlement. Oh my god. I feel guilty for leaving him, but I was hours late to my own event and I was frustrated by her lack of communication. Am I the a-hole for not waiting for her to show up and leaving my nephew with a trusted family friend? No, I'm on your side, OP. This one is ridiculous. Your sister is hopeless. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there in the morning, knowing that you have something to do in the afternoon, doesn't show up until 5 at night, and then has the audacity to say that you should have sacrificed your plans. No, you should have communicated, sister. She's out of her mind if she feels like you did something wrong. You weren't the one that abandoned him. She was. That's actually so infuriating. And also, it's not like you left him with a stranger. No, your sister is so entitled. I love these posts that like make me so angry. I'm sure you guys do too. But how frustrating are some of these? Probably why these episodes are so fun to make. The top comment says, not the a-hole. The child's mother wasn't there at the predetermined time. If she was willing to actually get in contact with you and be upfront about the actual arrival time, she could have had a say in where her child will be spending the remainder of the time. Definitely not the a-hole. She should have been more responsible. Yeah, completely. Do you feel like she knows that she messed up and then she's sort of getting angry at OP because she knows that she messed up? Or is she really that entitled? I hope not. That's what I'm always left thinking in these episodes. Like, how do these people genuinely feel like they're in the right? Yeah, like this one says, not the a-hole. She's the one who abandoned him. Her one job is to be a parent. Family comes first? Obviously not, since you're family and you're coming last. Yeah, like so hypocritical as well. Like what she even says, she's completely going against. Oh, that's so bad. This comment says, not the a-hole. It's funny how she can't be responsible enough to show up when she said that she would, but then berates you for not being responsible. She used you and then got mad at you for not allowing it. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. Like, oh, you're not gonna put up with my crap? How dare you? Yeah, I don't feel like you can ever never babysit for her ever again, OP. And I can't believe that she said you were abandoning him and you had one job and you should have waited. Yo, sister, you abandoned him. You're the one who disappeared and didn't respond to any messages all day, and the audacity to feel like OP should give up their plans? Yeah, I feel like we need to move on. The next one says, today I messed up by asking a MILF for her number. So I'm sure we all know what MILF stands for. So I was at the mall with my son, who's a toddler. Anyway, my son was playing really well with this little girl. Like they were two peas in a pod playing together, just having a blast. I'm a big dude. A lot of people say that I look scary. Anyway, my son's playing and I'm eating my lunch and I decide to figure out who the girl's parents are. I figure it out. She's apparently a hot mum. So I walk up and go, hey, your kids are playing together. Maybe I can get your number and we can set up a play date. She looks at me and goes, married? I was thinking, that's nice. My son wants to play with your daughter. So I said, yeah, me too. My wife would love to meet you. Our kids are playing well together. Do you want to set up for a play date? At that point, her husband walls up and she goes, this guy's asking for my number after I told him I'm married. And at this point, I'm thinking, screw it. Not worth it. I apologize and I sit down and I wait for my son to finish playing. This comment says, I mean, thinking about her as a MILF and a hot mum makes this whole situation weird. I get your kids played together, but after she declined you the first time, that should have been it for you. Your son can make other friends. The comment below that said, took me way too long to find this comment. Playing it off like the mum is the a-hole while specifically calling her a MILF and hot seems to support her and her husband's reaction. Wait, also OP's married. No, this is getting way worse. Me too, my wife would love to meet you. Our kids are playing well together. OP, don't make a post about a MILF, a mum that you'd like to you know what, when you have a wife. I didn't even realize that. You're married, OP. And it does sound like you were trying to hit on her. Why would you call her a hot mum and stuff if you didn't feel like that? Yeah, the more I think about it, the more their reaction makes sense. Like the mum and their husband. Wow, that's so interesting. When I first started reading this one, I was thinking, oh, that one's going to be funny. But there's layers to it. Yeah, like this comment says too, kind of weird that you sexualize her by calling her a MILF and a hot mum. For your intention of being harmless and asking about a play date, you're making yourself sound like a creep. Yeah, like this comment says too, why does this MILF think that I want to bang her? Yeah, OP, maybe don't describe them like this. And also, it's a gross way to talk about somebody. Like the way that you described this, OP, you were thinking, oh, this person's attractive. Maybe I could set up a play date for our kids so that I can see more of this person. And like I get to meet up with them again at a future date. And the way that you describe them doesn't help. And also the way that you got out of there when the husband showed up. I feel like that sort of solidifies your intentions even more. Wow, that one's interesting. But also, if none of that is the case, it was like what, a funny misunderstanding? But yeah, the way that you describe them is bad. And you've got a wife, dude. This comment says, right, like he made it the focal point of the story that she was hot and quite literally would sleep with her by using MILF. Lol, like super unnecessary and really weird behavior in my opinion. It's worded like one of the main reasons that he approached was because she was hot. I thought he was a single dad until he quoted the conversation. Yes, same here. I love when a Reddit story goes in a way that you don't expect it to. Okay, the next one is back on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for leaving my sister and her new husband stranded on their honeymoon because they wouldn't stop pranking me? I, 28 male, have a younger sister, 26 female, who's always been a prankster. I've usually gone along with it, but during her wedding and now her honeymoon, it's been way over the top. She and her new husband planned their honeymoon in a beautiful mountain cabin a few hours away, and she asked me if I could drive them there since they didn't want to rent a car. I agreed since they're family and it was a way for me to contribute without buying an expensive gift. From the moment I picked them up, they were in full prank mode. They switched my GPS to another language. They hid my phone when I wasn't looking. They kept messing with the radio. I laughed it off, but I was also kind of annoyed because it was a long drive. When we got to the cabin, they convinced me to stay for a bit to check out the view and grab a bite to eat. Then they took my keys and they hid them. I spent almost 45 minutes looking for them while they laughed their heads off. Okay, that's not funny. Oh yeah, am I going for a drive with a couple of 10-year-olds? When I finally found my keys, I told them that I was done and ready to go home. My sister begged me to stay longer, but I'd had enough of the honeymoon pranks. As I was leaving, they sprayed silly string all over my car, which I'd cleaned before the trip. Who the hell are they, Dennis the Menace or something? Oh, I'm gonna spray your car with silly string. Oh my god. What are you gonna do next, you daredevil? Put a whoopee cushion on their chair? So I got in my car and I left, but I didn't realize until I was halfway home that my sister had left her purse and my brother-in-law left his phone in the back seat. They started blowing up my phone and begging me to come back, but I was exhausted and honestly, I didn't feel like dealing with another prank. So I said they can come get their stuff when they got back. They were able to get a friend to bring it to them the next day, but now they're mad at me for ruining the start of their honeymoon. My sister says that I'm being too sensitive and I can't take a joke, but I think they went too far. Am I the a-hole for leaving them stranded? They sprayed silly string on your car. And what, they're sitting there laughing their asses off like a couple of kids? They sound embarrassing. Oh my god, that's so funny. It's the most Bart Simpson, like Dennis the Menace, 10-year-old prankster type sounding stuff ever. Like next every time you move, they're gonna play like a fart sound on their phone. Like, oh, haha, you farted. Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. They seem way too immature to be married. I hope they grow up fast. The comment below that says, not the a-hole. Somebody else can go get them and you can stop being around them. They're exhausting and completely rude. Yeah, and pranks are so not funny to the person that you're pranking. Like, yeah, I'm sure they're laughing when they prank you, OP, but I'm sure you don't find it funny, do ya? Because it's not. Like, oh, haha, you sprayed my car with silly string. Oh, aren't you such a jokester? Even though I just washed my car and I'm gonna wash it again. Like, oh, you got me, you're so funny. Like, they sound actually insufferable. Yeah, I like this comment. The way I see it, you didn't leave them stranded, as you played a prank on them. You took their stuff. How hilarious. Tell your sister she's too sensitive and needs to learn to take a joke. Yeah, the telling OP to learn to take a joke is so funny. Like, hey, I can take a joke. How about you be funny? Yeah, and also like this comment says, they're exhaustingly immature a-holes that ruined the start of their honeymoon by pulling stupid pranks. Hiding a phone, messing with the radio, silly string. Sounds like a couple of 8-year-olds. You're not the a-hole. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. They do sound like a couple of 8-year-olds. The next one is also, am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for choosing my cleaning lady as my guest of honor at my medical school graduation instead of my stepmom? Some background. Maria was our cleaning lady from when I was 8 until 16, but she was so much more than that. When I struggled with my math, she'd stay late to help me. Turns out she was a math teacher in her home country, but couldn't get her credentials transferred. When I got lonely because my dad worked late and my stepmom was busy with their own kids, Maria would teach me to cook and tell me stories. The big secret, Maria's been using half of her paycheck from her other cleaning jobs to anonymously donate to my college fund. Wow, that's so beautiful. I only found out because I'm now doing my residency at the hospital where her son works as a nurse, and he accidentally mentioned it. When I confronted Maria about it, she broke down and showed me how she's been keeping a scrapbook of all my achievements since I was 8, report cards, newspaper clippings from when I won a science fair, even the thank you note that I wrote her when I was 10. She said that seeing my potential helped her put her own son through nursing school, and she wanted to make sure that I had the same chance. My medical school graduation is coming up and we got 2 VIP tickets for the front row seats. I gave one to my dad and one to Maria. My stepmom is furious, saying that she raised me. She didn't. She was barely around, and that I'm humiliating her by choosing the help over her. She's demanding I give Maria a regular seat in the back. Yeah, you're not helping yourself here, stepmom. You're doing a good job at making yourself look bad. I refused. Maria cleaned other people's houses at nighttime to help put me through school. She's wearing that VIP corsage and sitting front row at my graduation. My dad supports my decision. That's good. But the extended family is blowing up my phone saying that I'm an a-hole for disrespecting my stepmom and making a scene. Get out of here. Maria's even offering to sit in the back to keep the peace, but I won't hear it. Oh, that's so infuriating. Of the stepmom. The stepmom sounds so awful. And get the hell out of here, extended family, blowing up my phone saying that I'm an a-hole for disrespecting my stepmom. Like, the audacity of that is wild. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. Maria's earned this honor. Your father's wife has not. She's humiliated that you're honoring Maria. What she should be humiliated about is that she didn't give you as much support as Maria did. The fact that she can't even see that proves that she's not worthy of the honor. Yeah, that's completely right. The stepmom was only digging herself into a hole with this, making herself look worse and worse and worse. Like, you're proving OP's point, stepmom. Oh, you're disrespecting me. No, you're just too self-centered to even see what's going on here. Like, the stepmom is so focused on themselves that they can't even see how beautiful this is. Yeah, I don't feel like there's much else to say about this one. Like, that's so infuriating. And also, you're not making a scene. And you're also not disrespecting your stepmom. Your stepmom is the only disrespectful person in this, as well as the extended family. But if the stepmom can't see how beautiful this is, that's their fault. Wow, the next one that we're gonna read. Am I the a-hole for threatening divorce if my husband gets sealed in the Mormon temple with his family? I, 29 female, have been married to my husband Jake, 31 male, for 4 years. We have 2 children together, 3 female and 1 male. Neither my husband nor I are religious in any capacity. My mother-in-law recently met and got engaged to her fiance Bill, who's Mormon. I'm not 100% sure what I'm about to say is completely accurate, but this is how my husband explains it. He says that as a Mormon, his future stepfather has to get married in the temple, but non-Mormons can't get married in the temple, so my mother-in-law has had to convert to Mormonism. According to my husband, there's a tradition where Mormon families get sealed in the church. It's a ceremony in which a family is bonded together in the afterlife. I'm sure that I'm explaining it poorly. My mother-in-law wants it done. Because her fiancé isn't my husband and his sibling's biological father, and they weren't already married and sealed in the church when they were born, they'd have to perform a separate ceremony for my mother-in-law's adult children and their families. I'm not religious, but I'm not against religion, and while I wasn't a super big fan of the idea, I was willing to do it. We had a family dinner recently and my mother-in-law was getting on my husband's ass about it, saying stuff like, "Your sisters agreed. I don't want you and my grandbabies to be separated from me in heaven." After the dinner, my husband formally approached me about the idea. It had only been mentioned in passing and we'd never discussed it in detail. How his mum wanted him and our children sealed in the temple with her, and how important it was to her. I was confused and I asked, "What about me?" And he said that since I married into the family, I'm not her family and don't need to be sealed with her. He was telling me about how it's only a ceremony and it doesn't actually mean anything because we don't follow the beliefs, but I'm still hurt. No, I don't believe it's real. I don't believe that I'm going to be separated from my husband and children in the afterlife, but it's the principle of the situation. My sister-in-law's husbands were included and they married into the family. My mother-in-law and I haven't always gotten along very good, but excluding me from the afterlife while assuring that my husband and my kids would be there but not me? Yeah, that's pretty rough, OP. Plus the fact that my husband is going along with the blatant exclusion of me is incredibly hurtful. I know that he doesn't believe that we'll be separated in the afterlife, but the fact that he's willing to allow my mother-in-law to believe that we will be, just to appease her, is so disrespectful. It's not real to me, but it is to my mother-in-law, and my husband's enabling her diabolical plan to separate us in the afterlife. I told my husband that if he goes along with her request, it's gonna mean divorce. I'm not even sure if kids can be sealed without both parents, but at this point I'm seriously reconsidering our relationship anyway. I feel more disrespected than I've ever felt in my entire life, and my husband caused it. That's ridiculous. My friends and family think I'm being ridiculous, because if I don't believe it's real, then what's the harm? Yeah, that's not the point. And nobody seems to understand that I'm upset about the principle of it. I'm upset over the fact that he's enabling this behavior, and not the fact that we'd be separated in the afterlife. He's enabled her crazy behaviors before, but it's never come close to this level. Am I the a-hole? Edit to add, the reason I swung so hard towards divorce is because he's had this behavior before, and despite endless conversations, he continues to enable and excuse her behavior. It feels like my tipping point, and I'm unsure if I'm being dramatic or not. No, I'm 100% on your side, OP. That is so wild. This comment says, "I'm with you. This is deliberate and spiteful exclusion, and your husband's going along with it. And don't for 1 minute think that it's going to end there. Oh no, there'll be lots of Mormon stuff that, guess what, only your husband and children are going to be able to go to. Your husband is being clear, so now you can be too." Yeah, no, I don't feel like you're being dramatic at all, and I completely understand the principle that you're talking about. This comment says, "This is all wrong. I'm an active Mormon here. To go through the temple, you have to be an active member in good standing. So your husband would have had to have been baptized, attend church, hold callings, pay tithing, before he could enter the temple for himself, much less to be sealed to his mother and her husband. Also, I don't know anybody who gets sealed to a step-parent. You have to be legally adopted by said parent, so that would never happen. Grandchildren are not sealed to grandparents. Children are sealed to parents, so only your husband would participate in this. Unless you and your husband join the church, then they would be sealed to you and your husband only. But again, adult children are not sealed to a step-parent, so your husband being a part of this at all is 100% out of the equation. Your mother-in-law has it all wrong." And then they link to an article about it. Yeah, like I'm sure it's pretty obvious that I have no idea about any of this sort of stuff. But yeah, that's so wild, and I definitely don't feel like you're the a-hole. It's another post that we're reading where a husband can't stand up to his mum. And at this point, we read them in every episode. Like, oh great, okay, so you value what your mum says way above what you value that your wife says. And you even said yourself, OP, this is not the first time that he's done this. No, I definitely don't feel like you're being dramatic for feeling the way that you feel. The top comment says, "This is pretty awful. My husband was raised Mormon, and so I have a bit of perspective here. A lot of Mormon families would love to have you sealed also. Tons of daughter-in-laws get sealed to their husbands' families. It's very patriarchal, so the women leave their families to join the husbands. But before anybody non-religious decides to take this step, it's a lot more than just going through the motions. They will try and have a Mormon funeral for whoever's sealed. They'll send missionaries to your house. Whoever gets sealed will have to contact the business office in Salt Lake City to get removed from whatever list they've been put on, or they will proselytize for the rest of your life. They're a serious business, and they won't let you just walk away. I do a lot of research before you or your husband sign up for any of their rituals. Good luck." Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, and also, before we do move on to the next one, I want to let you guys know that the videos are on YouTube Music now, so you can listen to the episodes on YouTube Music as well if you want to. And I thought it was really cool because when you go on there, I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, I'll focus. There we go. I've got the Reddit stories on there. And when you're on there, you can play the video and you get to see the video, but you can also turn off your phone and it still plays. So yeah, the episodes are on there too if you ever want to listen. person. The next one that we're going to read is called, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that I won't babysit her kids anymore after one of them threw a dinner plate into me for refusing to give tablet in bedtime? Oh god, that's so bad. Let me watch my Coco Melon, and then throws a dinner plate? That's terrible. Last weekend, my sister asked me to babysit her 2 kids, 7 male and 4 female, while she went to a friend's birthday party. I agreed, no problem. I've always been the cool aunt and I love spending time with them. Everything was fine until bedtime. Her 7-year-old didn't want to go to bed and kept on asking for his tablet, which my sister said that he wasn't allowed to use after 8 p.m. When I enforced that, he got upset and threw a full-blown tantrum, including throwing his dinner plate into me, leaving a massive mess not only in the room but also on my new clothes. I stayed calm, I cleaned up, and I eventually got them to bed. The next morning, my sister came home and instead of thanking me, she berated me for not letting her son self-soothe by using his tablet, claiming that I'd made things harder for myself and for her later. She even suggested that I need to educate myself on modern parenting. Oh my god. OP's not the one who needs to learn stuff about parenting. I was hurt and I told her that if she's going to criticize me for following her original instructions and not letting her son walk all over me, then maybe she should find somebody else to babysit next time. Yeah, OP. She called me dramatic and said that I was punishing her for no reason. Now I'm questioning if I overreacted. Was I too harsh? Or is this only her projecting her stress onto me? Am I the a-hole? I feel like she's not only projecting her stress onto you, OP, but I feel like she's projecting all that stuff about educating yourself on modern parenting. Like, hey, OP's not the one who needs to get better at this. This comment says, letting kids self-soothe with a tablet before bedtime is a terrible idea. Giving into that behavior is what's going to cause long-term problems. 7-year-olds should have better ways of handling their disappointment than throwing stuff. Yeah, and guess whose fault that is? The mum, not you, OP. The comment below that says self-soothe with a tablet. What sort of crap parenting is this? This is what screen addiction looks like. When children scream bloody murder just because their electronic devices were removed. If my kid were this rude to my sibling, she can say bye to screen time until next year, not the a-hole. Yeah, like the comment below that says, I hope the sister reads this comment. Yeah, the sister is so out of line to get upset at you, OP. Once again, an infuriating post. This comment says, not the a-hole. Sister wanted you to enforce rules where she's incapable of doing so. Tell her to be a better parent. You're no longer willing to babysit for her spoiled brat. 1,000,000%. Oh, I can't self-soothe with my iPad, so I'm throwing a plate of dinner at OP, and the mum somehow finds a way to blame OP for this? No wonder their child acts like such a brat. Okay, the next one says, am I the a-hole for not covering my friend's birthday bill at a fancy restaurant? One of my close friends, Sarah, recently celebrated her birthday. She sent out an invite to a group of us saying that she wanted to have dinner at her favorite restaurant. I was excited because Sarah and I have been friends for years, and I always try to make her birthday special. When we arrived, it turned out the favorite restaurant was an upscale place that I'd never been to before. The menu was shockingly expensive, like $50 for a basic entree. I'm currently on a tight budget, so I ordered the cheapest dish and water, thinking that I'd focus on enjoying the company. At the end of the night, Sarah announced, since it's my birthday, I'm assuming you all don't mind splitting my bill. I was taken aback because she hadn't mentioned this beforehand, and her bill was more than $150. Everybody else awkwardly agreed, but I quietly told her that I couldn't afford to chip in, and that I hadn't planned for this expense. Sarah was visibly upset and said that I was ruining her birthday by being stingy. Oh my god. You're not ruining anything. Hey Sarah, if you can't accept this and you make a deal about it, you're ruining it, not OP. OP, that's completely reasonable. Oh, you ruined my entire birthday. If that ruined your whole birthday, that's a pretty crappy birthday. Some of our friends sided with her, saying that it's customary to treat the birthday person. I left there feeling humiliated and wondering if I was in the wrong. Am I the a-hole? Wait, so let me get this straight. Sarah springs this onto you, doesn't talk to you about it first, gets upset at you and tells you that you're ruining her birthday when you're being completely reasonable and polite, and then you leave feeling humiliated and like you did something wrong. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Somebody feels just a little too entitled. People can't expect others to pay for them like this. Yeah, and the only reason that OP's ruining the birthday is because of Sarah's expectations. This comment says, not the a-hole. She chose a fancy restaurant and then wanted you to pay for her. That's an a-hole move. If she'd mentioned it beforehand and gave everybody a chance to say yes or or no, that would have been a different matter. But springing the request on you after the bill arrived and making it really socially awkward for somebody to say no was so douchey of her. Yeah, so unbelievably douchey of her, and she's obviously so entitled. Like if she did this and when OP said, oh, I can't pay for this because I'm on a tight budget and I can't afford it, and then Sarah was really understanding and was like, of course I understand, no worries, like that would definitely be better. Still not good though, because I feel like having that expectation that everybody's going to pay for you at a fancy restaurant without even asking them first is a pretty a-holy move. But she made it way more a-holy when she said that you ruined her birthday. Like, oh my god, way to show your true colors, Sarah. Oh, I'm so entitled, everything's about me. You ruined my birthday because of my own expectations, because I'm entitled. Like, she made it so much worse when she said that you ruined her birthday by being stingy. Like, the audacity is wild. So yeah, not the a-hole OP, and I feel like that's enough for today. That was a beautiful episode, and I hope you guys had a good time today. I've got a cute, classic, wholesome meme to show you. I love this one so much, and it's such a classic. Too nice of a day to stay in the house. I met my wife at work just to give her a kiss. That's so beautiful, isn't it? Like, such a legend and such a sweetheart. Shout out to this person. So unbelievably cute. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. If you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And of course, let me know down below in the comments what you thought. And the comment of the day goes to Silver Starlight. I can now imagine Vincey picking up his setup and going to film at a cat cafe to increase the amount of cats per video. Oh, that would be so cute, wouldn't it? That's the dream, filming these episodes, and there are like so many cats behind me. I feel like the more cats that are in the episode, the better that the episode is. Yeah, Silver Starlight, I'd love to do that. That would be so awesome. I wish I could do that. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Thank you for the support, and make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!